Hi everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. How is everyone doing today? Yay, it's Friday, TGIF! Woohoo! Yay, Friday! I cannot wait. Tonight I'm going to be meeting my best friend for dinner and sushi, and I'm going to go to Sephora and get some eyebrow pencils that aren't made by Janelle Eason. I'm going to go pick me up some Anastasia stuff, and then I'm going to have to tell you I got some Janelle Eason news about her eyebrow pencil kit thing. There's some kind of drama going on, and JE Cosmetics Inc. reached out to me on Twitter just before I went live, so I'm going to dig into that after I'm done with this stream and maybe bring you some tea related to that. So, thank you for the compliments. I kept my hair down, working on it. It's been a lot of damage, but we're working on getting it healthier. I'm going to have to get my hair done this week, but all right, let's get started. So, Mackenzie McKee, who is not my favorite on Teen Mom OG, let's be honest, I don't really like this show anymore, and Mackenzie was never my favorite, but this season she showed up this past season. She showed up for a couple episodes at the very end where we caught up with her and we found out what was going on with her and her husband Josh and their 3 children since we last saw them on Teen Mom 3. So it appears that she might be filming. That's the word on the curb. Nothing has been official from MTV, but it sounds like she might return for some episodes this next season, being that Miss Portwood is otherwise busy. Let's just say that nicely. So, Mackenzie has had quite the last few months. If you recall, during the season, there was an episode where she had a message where she received it from Josh's rodeo friend's wife, who basically said that her husband hooked up with a woman at a bar that Josh was with them at. So Josh and her husband went out to a bar while they were out rodeoing, and they met some ladies, and apparently this woman's husband cheated on her, and she wanted to let Mackenzie know about it. Shortly after the episode aired, people that were at the bar sold some story to the tabloids, basically saying they were there and they saw Josh flirting and they saw Josh kissing some chick, and that promptly resulted in Mackenzie going on this I don't even know, Twitter thing where she said she was single and Josh was a terrible person and they were getting a divorce or something like that. That's the rundown. Well, a lot of people have been asking since then, what's going on in your marriage? Who are you? What's the deal? And Mackenzie took to Twitter and she was going to do a Q&A on Instagram, and immediately all of the questions were relating to Josh and her relationship. So on Twitter, Mackenzie said, "We seek answers in a world full of lies." And she wrote, "If I was ever dumb enough to be with Josh, he has to be smart. He has to start from scratch. Fight for me, ask for me to be his girlfriend, propose, then marry me. And if that's another man first, then that's how it's supposed to be." She also said, "Also, if he is dumb enough to be with me, I'm not going to pretend I was a good wife. I wasn't. And for that, I apologize. I've lied, I've cheated, and I've stopped showing an ounce of affection for 3 years, except we are both idiots and need a fresh start, probably not with each other." And she said, "Every relationship on Facebook, non-reality stars have skeletons in their closets. I did nothing for MTV. I tried with him for 3 years and tried to make things okay. You have no clue what you're talking about." So that then prompted a IG video where she started answering some questions with fans, and I'll play this for you, and these will just come directly from her.
I'm sure a lot of you are really confused with everything coming out, everything that is going on, and I am not here to make Josh out to be the bad guy, so I'm going to clear. The last thing I want is for my kids to grow up with parents that are not together, and me and Josh just kind of realized I caught him in lies and realized that he was not happy with me. So he decided that we need to go to counseling and see what is best, and I thought it was absolutely going to fix us, and maybe it will, but we went to counseling, and the whole session, the entire session of our first counseling was about you cannot go on in your marriage, and I hope everyone who is struggling is listening. If you have secrets, and it was just kind of weird that was what that was about. And we went home, and Josh, if you guys know Josh, I'm very outspoken. I talk about my feelings. I talk about everything. And for 9 years, opposites attract. Josh puts up this wall. He doesn't talk about anything. So if I'm hurting him, or if he is bothered by something that I am doing, he does not talk about it. And so I don't know. So I thought I've been this perfect wife when there was a lot of things that I was doing wrong, and he never voiced his opinion. Being very raw and outspoken today when I usually am not. I've kept a lot in for the past 6 months, actually. But anyway, so we got home, and for the first time since the day I met Josh, he opened up, and it was just like this wall came off, and he opened up about his feelings and about everything that's been going on. He came clean about everything that he has ever done. I was shocked. And I've been not a good wife. I thought I was, because he never corrected me. Josh is a very easy person to be married to. He never told me I can't do this or can't do that. It's like he didn't even pay attention. It was just bleh. Like, you guys watching the show know that. But after Bronx was born and postpartum depression, a lot of things went downhill, and we've just tried to push and make it work since. But I am not here to make him look bad, because I am not a good wife myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't know I was doing anything wrong. And I was not letting Josh be a leader. He felt controlled. He felt, I've always just taken everything under my wings and controlled every situation, and he felt, anyways, there was a lot Josh was doing wrong. There was a lot I was doing wrong. So after he did and said all this, I started from the day I met Josh, and every mistake, every lie, every unfaithful thing that I have done to Josh behind my back, how I feel about him, the fact that I have been just asking God to help me find a better man. For 2 years, I've been laying in bed with my own husband, wishing that, and just how wrong things are. And so it wasn't like I found out something about Josh and I'm leaving him because he did something very wrong. We found a lot out about each other, and it feels really good to get that lifted off of each other. I actually feel closer to Josh now than I ever have, and he has broken down that wall, and he's talked to me more than he ever has about his feelings and everything. But this is not a bashing Josh moment. It was just wow, do we even belong together? I am sad. I don't want my kids to see this, but I just don't want history to repeat itself for him and for me. So we have both been bad to each other, and so we decided, let's take this time to get close to God and work on ourselves. And that's why we've been praying together and continuing counseling. For him, he's really determined to work it out. For me, I have a harder time than him. As of right now, Josh is wanting to work it out and get a fresh, clean slate. And I just told him I couldn't right now. I need to learn to fall in love with God and fall in love with myself to give any man the right love. And I just think God is going to send me the right person. So this isn't really he did something wrong, I did something wrong. It's both of us. And I'm also publicly really embarrassed because people, kind of turned something that was partially true and stretched it, and they, women are calling and they won't get a hold of me. They're calling in tabloids. They want to remain anonymous. They waited 6 months after the incident even happened, and thankfully Josh was truthful to me and came clean about everything. But for women to not get a hold of me and do the right thing, but to call the tabloids and make it a complete lie, It's just absolutely ridiculous. Like, I can't believe. And so it's just that has put more strain on me than anything is what's going on publicly. And I feel like I am allowing the public to determine my decision. You know, there's so many people. He's a douchebag. Leave him. Fight for your marriage. Love him. Find some grace. Humble yourself. And it's just like all these people telling me different things. And so I'm just trying to listen to myself and my own heart. And that's why I have chose to leave. But Josh is a good guy. I don't know how he has forgiven me. I don't deserve his forgiveness, and I one day will forgive him. It's not today. I will have to go through God for that one, because I'm just angry. But it's like, why am I so angry when I've done the same things to him? And so he has taught me a lot. But we are still best friends. And I wish nothing but the best for him. And I told.
All right, that was a lot of bleep, 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 bleep. She talks a lot, doesn't say very much, right, you guys? All right, I'm sorry. Mackenzie bores me. I said it. Okay, but anyways, Mackenzie's young. She's bubbly. She's into fitness. She's been carrying the financial burden of this family, their entire marriage. Josh is a loser. And I really feel sad for her, because she has to say, like, I can't believe he forgave me. Girl, you had every right to act the way that you did with Josh, because Josh is a certified loser. He always looked one foot out the door in that relationship, didn't care, was constantly cheating on her, didn't seem interested or invested in their marriage, didn't seem interested or invested in her or the kids, and has this like elusive idea of being a rodeo star, which, you know, has a short lifespan. And I just feel like there's aspects of her where I feel like she's finally starting to exert some of her independence. Like, I don't like things when people say, like, I wasn't letting my husband be a leader. That's a very biblical way of talking about marriage, because in the Bible, and this is where I feel like she's coming from, the man is told to be the leader of the family. But Josh isn't capable of like wiping his own butt. Josh isn't capable of paying his own bills. Josh isn't capable of even keeping his penis in his pants. So how is he going to be a leader of a family? He might make that excuse and tell her these things, but he's doing this because he knows that he has a good thing with her. He knows he's got a meal ticket. He knows he's got all of his SHIT together, because he doesn't have to do any of it as long as Mackenzie is there. He actually reminds me of my boyfriend that I left after 4.5 years that was abusive, and that was the kind of stuff he would say to me, like, you don't let me do this, you don't let me do that. Well, no, that's really not how it works. This is probably Josh like realizing that this is going to be blowing up and she's gonna move on, and I think this means for her that better things are on the horizon. She seems like a very smart woman, very business like oriented, interested in expanding her brand and having a business outside of Teen Mom fame. She has done a lot with her like fitness and her like personal training and doing videotapes and like taking on clients, which is great. She's learned a skill set, but that alone has also been like on Teen Mom this season, basically said like, I have paid for everything for this entire marriage. I have been paying for everything since we've been together. Josh doesn't have a stable income, because Josh is like a 10-year-old boy. He is still on this like dream of being the rodeo champion, but there's not really a lot of money in rodeo, because you have to be really good to make the money. It's like a very niche industry. And I understand it's big in the South, and we have rodeo where I live, so I know it's not like by any means like a bad type of career. It's just not a consistent career, and it's not a consistent way to raise your family. Plus you're on the road all the time. A lot of Josh even admitted this season that a lot of the guys on the road, they just cheat, and that's just how it is. So to me, I feel like she is hearing what Josh is saying and blaming herself for his failures as a husband. Her wanting a different husband for 2 years is not her being a bad wife. It's actually being a woman that's realizing that her worth is worth more than a man that gives her scraps. Josh has been giving her scraps since before they even got married. Since the time she was pregnant with her first baby, Josh has been giving her scraps. And Mackenzie is the kind of woman that deserves to have the whole effing cake. Like, this is the one thing I would honestly say to all young girls that watch this show, if there are any young girls or any young women that are in their 20s, is don't settle for scraps from men, period. There are men out there that will give you the full damn cake with all the icing and all of the like buttercream filling and oozy like raspberries on top. Like, there are men out there that will give you that. You don't have to stay for crumbs. And that's all Josh is worth, are crumbs. So I hope at some point as she moves away from this and further away from Josh, that she'll start to realize that her failures as a wife are not failures at all. They were just her being mature and Josh acting like a proverbial 12-year-old. I just gave him 2 more years. Is he 12 or is he 10? I don't know. But that's what I've got on Mackenzie. I give props to any woman that's in a position where they're finally ready to move on from an unhealthy relationship. And I do think there was probably some level of abuse in this relationship because Josh does seem to be emotionally void and likely emotionally abusive because of the way that he speaks to her. So anytime you're leaving a situation like that, it takes a lot of courage and strength, and I wish her the best as she continues to exert herself. And it's not easy to become a single mother, but at the same time, she needs to grow within herself. And I would encourage her, I know she's super religious, but I would say, don't so much worry about that relationship with God, worry about that relationship with you, because it all starts here. It all starts here. And if you don't feel good about yourself, you're going to pick men that don't feel good about themselves, and you're going to be attracted to other men that don't feel good about themselves, and you're going to repeat the pattern. So I hope she continues to get therapy, works through her issues, and I honestly wish her the best at this point. So this is where we're at for today, and I'll be back in a little while. I've got some digging to do on Janelle Eason and her hairy cosmetics, and apparently somebody is like a makeup company is not going to work with her anymore. And then I was debating about whether or not I was going to talk about some more 90 Day Fiance. Larissa is getting in fights with Eric online, and I was like, is that even worth it? Let me know what you want to hear about. I'll be back later. Bye.